Black leaders. They thought it did for themselves.
Right.
They bought land and just kind of did their own thing.
Yeah. Right.
It wasn't until the civil rights movement came along, which was the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks. Because when I was growing up, most black people were Republicans. At 18, I started listening to Jesse Jackson, Louis Farrakhan, and all the crazy people. And they were telling me, the white man is against you because of your color. I fell for the lie. And so finally I realized that, okay, if I'm black and the white man holding me back.
I always say Jesse Jackson more than Farrakhan. Farrakhan kind of had that, what was it? Because I remember he had the saying, he's like, don't hate the white man, but follow the white man in his ways, for the white man makes no excuses for his mistakes. And I was like, all right, that's a bar. It's like, hold him as an example. It's like, y'all can hate on him, but my man got something good going on.
Why is it that he's not holding Jesse Jackson, his family back? And that's when I realized I had been lied to. White people are afraid of the blacks.
You can't blame them, Jesse.
I know, yeah.
Hey, look, my YN homies. I'm just playing.
So violent.
You know what, Jesse? I'm scared of black folks.
Me too. All the women are evil. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I was married to a black woman. She used to beat his ass too.
Beta. What now? Did you know human beings are evil?
Oh yeah.
It's worse than what you can think. All the way you're gonna be good is that you got to admit that you're evil. Y'all have black people working for you too?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, I did meet one black. I forgot. Y'all have one black, huh?
But you should have saved all this for the podcast.
Yeah,
we got Jesse Lee Peterson in the house.
Amazing.
How you doing?
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, thank you for
all
coming.
All is well.
Yeah.
Y'all like white people?
Y'all
love white people?
I like some white people. Not all white people.
You don't? Why not?
I like the conservative white people.
Oh, you do? Not the liberal.
Nah, liberal white people, no, man.
Amazing.
They the enemy of the state. Yeah, the liberal white people is just as bad as the blacks.
What's wrong with the blacks?
I don't know, man.
I saw y'all had one black working for you.
Yeah. No, I got two black people.
Yeah. The other one
he looked like an Indian.
Oh, yeah, he black.
Yeah.
He black.
Hey,
thank you guys for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Is your staff or are they like do you got any DEI going or
no DEI?
Yeah.
I don't hire black people with black names.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that.
And
what you mean by black names?
You know those black names.
Yeah, like
black names. Yeah, we know them black names. I mean, you start with the Key, the Duh, the Tay, the Ray, the Shanae. Like, you feel me? We know them ghetto names, hood names. So yeah, and thank God I don't got one. I mean, I think some of y'all have heard me say my name before, but trust me, I actually got a white boy's name.
Yeah, all that kind of mess.
Yeah,
and the reason I don't because I already know that they hate white people, and it's going to be a problem. You know, the reason they have the black name because they hate white people, and they already said I hate white people, so they're not going to be able to work together. So I'm not going to waste my time like that.
Yeah. So a black name, that's a red flag.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't want to. They want to create their own. They don't want like Keith and then Kevin. Well, white people already figure out everything. Jason, they want to come up with their own name.
That's right. Absolutely. And so my staff is. I have 2 black people right now. One anchor baby. He's kind of a Mexican, but he's
anchor baby.
Yeah.
His parents came here illegally.
Yeah. What happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and just before it was time for him to be born, she jumped across the border into the United States, dropped him on the ground, and she went back and left him.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There he is right there.
Is that, wow, that's true, huh?
Uh-huh.
I thought she was making that shit up. Well, usually they stay.
Right.
Because of the baby.
But the mother went back and left him here for some reason. And then he lived in Canada, and then he moved to LA and that kind of stuff.
Wow.
So I have
cool.
I think 2. Is Daniel Mexican? 2 Mexican.
Oh.
2 blacks.
Come on now, where the white people at?
I have I have one that's
You
half
never
white,
have
half
too
black.
many white people.
I know. What a mess. I don't know how. I got a black producer now. I was like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
How did this happen? Like, what is going on?
What is he, family or something? Or
No, he's conservative. He's a real smart guy for a black person.
Yeah.
He think like a white man.
Hey, that's the Negroes I like too.
Yeah. They get things done.
Yeah.
And so I'm fortunate though. I have an amazing staff.
Yeah.
Really
You've been
do.
doing this a long time.
For 35 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you live you live in LA?
I do.
How did the fires impact you out there?
It was closer than ever before. It was like 7 miles away.
Wow.
And you could see it. A friend of mine, his wife, house burned down. They just had a baby in the house, everything burned down. One of my workers had to move away from his house because the fire is so close to them. And but it was devastating.
You know,
I thought it never was going to end.
Yeah.
I just never seen anything like that before.
Yeah. I mean, I used to live out there for about 16 years, and it was always fires. I think, and I always believe this, California's got an arsonist problem. It doesn't make no sense why California has all these fires.
Another thing is that we have a Democratic government there, and they never burn, slow burn, or they never no more water. They don't really repair things, so it's not really set up to deal with fires and things in the right way.
Yeah.
So that's one of the problems too.
Hey, they let go of that fire chief out there, didn't he?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, the mayor did.
Yeah, they have a battle going on now because the fire chief, which is a female,
right? Yeah,
but and she's saying that she told the mayor that she told the mayor they needed more money,
more resources.
So they said, right, and she refused to do it. So, so they have she fired her according to the report, and they're fighting over that right now, trying to get her job back.
Yeah, because she shouldn't be the one and only scapegoat. I mean, how you not have water in
I know,
in a fire hydrant?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. I blame Newsom for that too, Gavin, because he's been the governor. He should have made sure.
And guys, let's make sure to support this show, guys. Any question, comments, joke, disagreement, $2 and up. We'll go ahead and read it out loud and post to the top of the screen. And like I say, it keeps the show running and it keeps it more interactive. I appreciate the support, guys. Let's keep it going.
That happened as well.
Yeah, it's not like these fires is like once in a lifetime kind of thing. It's every year.
I know, every year.
Yeah, and not to have
so
water.
It's not new. And we have a black female mayor.
Yeah. So she was in Africa when the fire started.
Yeah, you know it ain't gonna work.
Already know it ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work. I tried to tell them, I'm like, no, don't hire this woman.
Yeah.
I debated her before.
Oh, really?
Karen Bass, and she has no clue. Really, she can't run a city. She can't even run a ghetto hood. So she definitely can't run a city like LA.
Hey, I didn't even know him. So I didn't even know that. Jesse Lee Peterson debated the current mayor of LA, and he said, "Yo, I cooked her." Okay.
What was she doing in Africa?
Partying.
Hey, why do you think black people like going to Africa?
Getting her a little African guy. You feeling me? You know, taking her one of those. I know it. We're gonna call them dictations, or I don't know what you girls call them, but I think y'all know what's the word for when girls go out on a. I know it's sex tourism, but what was it called when women did it? Girls trip. I know there was another word for that. There's another way to explain it. When y'all girls go out there and get the buff African or the buff a Jamaican guy, and he ain't got to own nothing like a man got to do in America, like a man got to do in America. But you go to Africa or Jamaica, and all a dude got to do is be tall and in shape, and you ready to give it up. Come back here though, and all of a sudden the standards come back, economic standards at least.
When they sold us to white people, why do you have an allegiance for this continent?
They're crazy.
Yeah,
really. Yeah. They don't. They're out of their mind.
Yeah,
they just don't think straight.
Yeah,
and so
Jesse, a lot of black Americans think we were kidnapped. I was like, man, I know white people are great, but they can't be that great where they come to a continent and just start kidnapping people. They had some help.
It is.
Mhm.
It's amazing to me that black people think that white people are smarter than them.
Yeah.
It wasn't that way when I was growing up. You know,
Mhm.
as you know, I grew up in Alabama
Mhm.
on a plantation under the Jim Crow law, and black people used to be independent thinkers.
Mhm.
They didn't have black leaders. They thought it did for themselves.
Right.
They bought land.
Yeah, I mean, the independent thinking stopped in the black community when everybody went left. When everybody just said, "Oh, the left is the party for the black community," that's when independent thinking honestly came to a halt almost. Because we're all bred to think the same thing, with the leftist ideology, no matter how crazy it is, and that's majority of my community. Majority.
And just kind of did their own thing.
Majority.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't until the civil rights movement came along, which was the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks. The civil rights movement, other than abortion, they turned their lives over to Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson and all those people, and it's been downhill ever since. You should never, ever, ever have another person over you.
Right.
As an adult, especially men, you're not supposed to have a leader. God, independent thinkers.
Mhm.
They didn't have black leaders. They thought it did for themselves.
Right.
They bought land and just kind of did their own thing.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't until the civil rights movement came along, which was the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks. The civil rights movement, other than abortion, they turned their lives over to Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson and all those people, and it's been downhill ever since. You should never, ever, ever have another person over you.
Right.
As an adult, especially men,
I hear you, Law.
you're not supposed to have a leader. God is your only leader, right? But they put other people in charge of them, and they've been leading them down a path of destruction ever since.
Yeah.
And that's the primary problem.
You got to be able to think for yourself.
You got to.
Yeah, because when I was raised, my mom was Democrat. It's like, that's the black thing to do.
Right.
You'd be Democrat.
Yeah.
But then, like, when I got in my 30s and I just started, like, living my life and seeing things for myself, I was like, wait a minute. This stuff is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of nuts over here and how they think on the left side when it comes to politics.
Yeah, I grew up Republican because when I was growing up, there was no Democrats that I was aware of. Most black people were Republicans. And so it wasn't until I moved to LA at 18, I started listening to Jesse Jackson, Louis Farrakhan, and all that.
I already told y'all I grew up in a family full of liberals, so the fact that I turned out like slightly conservative is almost a miracle, honestly. But hey, here I am.
Crazy people. And they were telling me the white man is against you because of your color.
I mean, guys, most of my family resides in Brooklyn, New York, highly liberal, and Atlanta, Georgia, highly liberal. This is where most of my family resides. So trust me, liberal on both sides, mom and dad.
And being young, and I thought they were leaders, I fell for that.
Actually, the only conservatives in my family were like, honestly, my grandfather. That was like pretty much the only conservative in my family was like my granddad. That's it. That's all.
And then I finally realized I had been lied to. So I dropped the Democrat and went to the Republican Party.
That's the major reason why you switched to Republican, because of the civil rights movement.
Yeah. I realized they were lying to me and that my issue was a spiritual issue, not physical.
Yeah.
But they made us think that, and I had hatred for white people too. Once I listened to them, I didn't grow up like that.
Yeah, I did too. Because my mom was showing us Roots.
Yeah.
You know, the black shows.
Yeah.
I would go to school the next day just looking at the white people.
Right.
Right. And they just, I don't know, it put a hatred in me. I think over time it developed, gave me anxiety. If I saw a white person looking at me, I was like, they're looking at me like that because I'm a Negro.
Yeah.
You know? Looking back on it, that white woman wanted to get with me. But my mama had fed me these lies that white people against you, white people against you.
That is so true, man.
Yeah.
I used to think that anytime white people disagree with me at work or something, I totally thought it was because I was black.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe there's two people just disagreeing.
Yeah, you see things that's not there.
That is so true, man. And so finally I realized that, okay, if I'm black and white man holding me back, why is it that he's not holding Jesse Jackson, his family back, Louis Farrakhan and all? They were living in amazing homes and they
low key though. It's like the main people that are telling you white people are holding you back are low key wealthy people. You're going like, all right, why did the white man holding you back? It's like it ain't got really nothing to say. But you're bringing up white supremacy talking points, and I'm like, Really? Am I? Or am I just exposing the BS you're trying to feed to the community?
And jobs and the kids have fathers and mothers. And I'm like, why are they holding them back? And that's when I realized I had been lied to.
It's all the games, the scheme, it's a hustle.
And that's right. So I read the Republican platform and I'm like, I'm out of here. No more Democrat.
Yeah.
And I just turned away from them.
Yeah, and it's still true today. Look at all the celebrities and all the blacks just, made a name for themselves, whether it's in Hollywood or acting or in music career. They always badmouth Republicans. They always badmouth white people.
Yeah.
Because Hollywood, that whole line of work is ran by liberals. Yeah. And Jews.
So white people are afraid of the blacks.
You can't blame them, Jesse.
I know, yeah. They're so violent. But
you know what, Jesse? I'm scared of black folks.
Me too. I want to go to the hood.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I ain't scared of black people. I'm scared of these wild ends, though. Boy, these new generation of young cats is wild and trigger happy. Yes, and ready to commit crime on a moment's notice, just to look cool. Because they think it's cool, god damn it. I know, right? Wild mindset we got here. But if you listen to the music that these young cats listen to, you kind of see where the mind control sets in.
Oh, I went to the hood a couple times. I said, I ain't ever doing this again. Yeah.
I have family members who live in the hood. And I just call now. I used to go and visit sometimes.
Dude, I'll tell you this right now, dog. Look, I was raised in the hood. Shoot, actually, I was raised in the projects. I was raised in the project of Brooklyn, New York. Like, that was not fun. It was not fun. It wasn't all that bad. I had great people that were around me. Like, the only problem really wasn't like, I'm gonna be real with you, the people. It was just the side of poverty in your face every day. That's all it was. It wasn't that bad though. Like, I don't know. Like, my days in poverty weren't that bad. It was pretty good days in my childhood.
Yeah.
Especially before the crime got so bad. It was really bad down in LA. And the homeless situation. So I don't really go to the hood.
Yeah. I met my two black friends. Like, I got to a point where I just started judging black people differently because I started
like, bro, man, look, G Unit, bro. I'm from the day. I'm from back in the day, man. Come on now. I'm from the day where parents were leaving their kids at home at 7 years old. 7, 8 years old. I was getting left at home alone. Bro, you know what's so crazy about today's kids, man? Their parents don't even trust them to stay home alone until they're like 15. I know, right? So I'm like, bro, I don't know. I do feel kind of old compared to this generation. Now, in musical taste, I mean, I guess that's where I connect to the younger generation in musical taste, and then I guess wanting prosperity for the community. I get, these are a bunch of young cats out here that's really speaking their mind that I respect, but that's mainly it what I relate to them on. But love them all the same. They are my people.
Notice a trend.
Yeah.
Like I met Chris. He's a comedian. I say, this guy's a nice guy. I can tell he's.
And Chris is black.
Yeah, he black. Yeah, he black.
Amazing.
Both of their names is Chris.
Oh, they are? Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
They ran out of names, huh? What?
Crazy, I remember one time I was up in LA. I got lost. And I was in this ghetto area. I was like, oh my God, you look at these Negroes over here. Yeah, Watts is a scary place.
Yeah, it is now. When I first moved to LA, it wasn't that bad.
What happened? Democrats.
Yeah, Democrats.
Used to be a Republican state.
The Mexicans moved in. And so there's a war going on between the blacks and the Mexicans over there.
The Mexicans winning that. They're taking that land back.
They are taking it. Yeah. And so it just got just a mess over there right now.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Yeah. When I first moved to LA, I worked in Watts for a while.
Yeah.
That's how nice it was. Compton area.
Right.
But it's just gotten worse over the years.
Yeah. What happened? Because I was looking at some old pictures of Compton and Watts. You can actually see white people that used to live
right
there.
Yeah.
But now it's all Section 8. It's like really ghetto.
But the Mexicans are running the blacks out now.
Yeah.
Because they hate the blacks and the blacks hate them. So
it's supposed to be all Black Lives Matter, right?
Not over there.
Joke.
not over there.
You know what? You
gotta have white parents.
Yeah. No, I have well, my daddy was really light. My great grandfather was from Ireland. Yeah.
So why do you guys have white people eyes?
Because him probably.
Oh yeah.
You know what's crazy? That is crazy. My dad
eyes is hilarious.
He got his eyes from his granddad. and it came down through us.
And he was white.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was black. Yeah, but he was really light though. Yeah. He looked like don't see it. He looked like Black Elvis.
Black
Like
Elvis
Elvis with a
crazy.
tan on him.
Right on.
Yeah. We actually came from one of the biggest plantations on the East Coast called the Hurston Plantation.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. They wrote a book
Nice.
about it.
Really? Amazing. So when your master said he said, do you say, yes, sir, master? We said.
I'm glad I ain't grew up during that time.
Yeah, when my master said he said, I said, yes, sir, master. We said.
Hey, Jesse, explain to us what it was like growing up through the civil rights movement, Jim Crow and all that. How was it for blacks?
Before the civil rights movement, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. You know, you hear these stories that blacks and whites did not get along. That's not true. I'm sure you can find bad people in all groups, but we treated each other the way we would like to be treated. When I saw white people, I treated them the same way they treated me, the same way they would do anyone. And it didn't change until I do remember going to a movie theater once down in Eufaula, Alabama. And the blacks had to sit in the balcony. But I was a teenager and I didn't mind because we had better view. We could see better up there. But it still wasn't just animosity that we've been told. My family owned land. Matter of fact, one of my aunts, she and her husband, they had like 15, 16, 17 children, right? Maybe more. Yeah. And they own land. They never.
I'm trying to go for that level, man. He said 15, 16, 17. Jeez, give me 10. I'll be cool. But damn, that's what I'm saying, guys. We need to get back to them owning land and having hella children.
I had to work the fields and things like that. They own their own property.
Oh God, yeah. Buy hella land, have hella children. Why? So they can work the fields. I know child labor, but at least you're making a hard worker, right? Right.
And we did our own thing. It wasn't what you've been told that it was like. That changed when the civil rights movement came along.
When we started to integrate with whites.
When you force integration, that should have never happened. Blacks and white would have come together on their own. Those who agreed and those who didn't agree, it would have happened naturally. But you can't force anyone to love you.
Nah, that's facts though. So he pretty much saying is like, yeah, we kind of should have took our time with segregation, ending segregation. We kind of should have let the black community establish itself before just kind of forcing us out into the white communities and all that. Because all of that did to us is sending all our elite class, our elite blacks, and they all moved to the white neighborhoods and they separated themselves from the lower class blacks. I remember back in the day, somebody was telling me like, yeah, bro, it used to be a poor man and you could live. Used to be a poor man and could live next to like an engineer or a doctor because y'all all had to live in the same community, in the same black community. When those doctors, engineers, and lawyers left, it's kind of like the kids didn't have nobody to look up to anymore. Now they're looking up to these drug dealers and the gangsters and all this good stuff. But before segregation, all we had to do was look towards the engineers and the doctors and lawyers and all the stuff that we should be looking up to now. But we lost our way a little bit with that.
And they were trying to force the white people to accept the blacks. We was a big mistake. Yeah. And so it's just been down here ever since.
Back in those days, like blacks had everything. They had their own doctors, had their own transportation.
Yeah.
And did you see any ghettos that you see today?
No ghettos. No violence, no crime.
Oh, look at those pictures.
None of those things when I was growing up. It was unheard of for black people to kill one another or to fight one another. I grew up and I only had one fight in high school, and that was on over a baseball bat. I thought we both were fighting we were on the baseball field. This guy thought it was his time, and I thought it was mine, and we were fighting over that. And that's about it.
So it was no ghettos? It was
no ghettos,
mass
no
black
fighting, no crime at all.
Yeah.
No crime. Nobody around me.
Well, when everybody making money and everybody's all community, like it's like, of course you're gonna have low crime. That's just how it works. And it's such a simple formula that we just refuse to follow. It's such a simple freaking formula. It's like, oh my goodness.
Committed crime that I'm aware of at all. It was unheard of. It was totally different than it is today.
So when you seen like those, like there's been some moments in history that the civil rights movement like grabbed onto, embraced, and used that to force integration. Like what happened to Emmett Till. What was it Medgar
Yeah.
Eggers down in was
Right.
that Mississippi?
Yes.
So you're saying like these types of incidents were like isolated?
Yes.
Really?
Poor Medgar, they're going to use him to death.
Yeah.
Emmett Till, 100 years going by, they still talking about Emmett Till.
Right.
That happened then, and we don't know the true story about that, what really happened. They just kind of made up stuff to make it look like what they wanted it to look like so they can control the blacks. It really, something happened that we don't really know the whole detail.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of stopped listening. Every time they start trying to pull emotional strings through race, so they start trying to get me to feel bad through race, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna stop listening. That's all the Dems do is play on your emotions. Oh, especially black people's emotions. That's why they've kind of turned us into a emotional and very reactive community through these race baiting tactics that they use.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember what happened with the, I guess they saw a bunch of white guys grabbed them and killed them and buried them or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of ignorant on what happened. I just remember that name.
They said one of the guys looked at a white woman.
Yeah, Emmett Till.
Yeah, and as a result, looked at the white woman, they killed him. Now, I don't know how true that is. There's always more to the story than what you hear. Excuse me. And because human beings are evil, did you know human beings are evil?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's worse than what you can think. And because they're evil and they won't admit they're evil so they can overcome it, you never know what the real truth is.
Yeah, I mean, I look how evil the world is. Like we go to school and they teach you to stand in line, be nice to your neighbor and this and that, don't cut line, just little stuff like that in kindergarten. Like, just imagine if people wasn't taught how to be good, how evil everybody would be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's just an evil world we live in. I think it's naturally, it's a natural inclination to be evil.
You actually got to teach people to be good.
Yeah. But that doesn't work either. You really can't teach anyone to be good because think about it. Christianity is supposed to be a religion that teaches us to love one another and to be good and to have a moral life and live. Nobody is living up to that.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
And so even our parents who tried to teach us to be good, it didn't work. No one has lived up to it. The only way you're going to be good is that you got to admit that you're evil.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing. Salvation of the heart. So
ain't that the truth? And ain't that the truth, Jesse? Shout out to that because you're not lying. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, single fathers could do it." I'm like, nah. I'm gonna be real with you. Let me tell you where single fathers could kind of lack for us young men. Like you're right. Our masculinity is kind of built off our father figure in our life, but our empathy and compassion towards women, how we treat women, is mainly due to our relationship with our mother. Yeah, I know, right? And those who have a bad relationship or no relationship with their mother don't really know how to treat women usually. I know, right? So I always do say that's why it's good for a two-parent household because you got the feminine and the masculine working together to give you that. Well, your father gives you your masculinity and your mom gives you your compassion and empathy for the feminine energy. There you go.
God said that we got to admit that we're evil because anyone that has anger is playing God. They think they know right from wrong. They judge themselves and others. They cannot be trusted. God said, never trust an angry person. An angry person is an evil person, and they are your enemy, and do not trust them. So, but when you admit that you're evil, hey, I'm evil, I'm wrong, and then you forgive your parents because that's who did it, especially your mother. And
damn. Hold on.
Admit that you're evil. Hey, I'm evil, I'm wrong. And then you forgive your parents because that's who did it, especially your mother. And
don't get me started on women.
Then you go and forgive your mother because all human beings hate their mothers. There's not one that doesn't.
I think I love my mom.
On God, I appreciate
I love my mama's crazy.
On God, though, mom, I stand on that though. Mom is crazy, but all that taught me is that women are crazy. So if your mama crazy, and I had to go out into the world and figure that women was crazy, I was like, you know what, mom, at least you're consistent. I'm like, all right. I thought it was a special type of thing with you, but this consistency you're doing here.
Mom was crazy. But she would have the Bible in one hand and cuss you out.
That's right.
Yeah.
But when you forgive your mother, males and females, when you forgive your mother, hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize now you couldn't help yourself because you become just like your mother. Any man that has anger is a woman.
Yeah.
He think, he reacts, he has emotion like a woman.
Damn.
He become like his mother because you become like what you hate.
Damn.
But when you go for
oh wow, shit, I'm glad I ain't never felt that way about my mom. Like, like a resent. Like, nah. I mean, during a young age, I kind of realized that I'm like, you know what? You're kind of doing the best you can with what you got. And if I can't appreciate that, then I'm just a selfish bastard. Because what can I do? I'm a kid. So it's like it's best to just appreciate the best thing. I mean, the hard work that your parents have put it in for you, appreciate it. Don't take it for granted now. Because if you hate it, I mean, bro, when you go down your life, you're going to become the same person. You end up hating yourself.
give her for turning you away from your father, playing victim, impose a will. I'm sorry for resenting you. God will forgive you and he will change your heart from anger to love. Then he changed that old nature from anger, from fear and doubt and loneliness and insecurity and worry and suicidal thought. He will take all those things and give you his nature. Then you'll be a perfect love and you will have perfect peace and you have a perfect life.
Yeah.
But you got to return to the Father. And the only way you're going to return, you got to admit to yourself. You don't have to say it out loud, but you got to admit you are evil, but you got to forgive your mother because the evil comes through the mother.
Right. Look at our new giveaway. Ford Rack. Look at that. Avalanche Gray.
Damn. I mean, that's such a wild way of saying it, but you know, I'm hearing them out. Let's just hear them out, guys. Let's hear them. We're just hearing them out.
All the women are evil. Did y'all know that? All women are evil.
Very emotional.
All the women are evil.
Yeah, this is one of his more controversial opinions that always kind of like turn me off to Jesse Lee. Like, I was like, all women? All women. All right, G, back that up. Back this one up here.
Did y'all know that?
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. My ex-girlfriends, I think have done the most despicable things I can imagine. Yeah,
absolutely.
Women have told me they've been pregnant when they're not.
Yeah.
Women have told me,
Bruh.
let me put this in perspective. Like, I was in a relationship with this woman, didn't work out.
Yeah.
She went behind my back. I was already giving her child support. She went behind my back, went to a welfare office, said she hasn't been in contact with me.
Yeah.
We was living together. I go to work, I get this confidential envelope, back child support, like $60,000. They was going to suspend my license. I was going to go to jail. Thankfully, I kept all my receipts, all the child support.
Yeah.
So all that got thrown out. But a woman will destroy your life and will not lose one wink of sleep.
Not at all. They'll take your children away from you.
Yeah.
They'll go to court. They'll cry. They'll make up things about you that's not even true.
Yeah.
Because, of course, on the side of the woman, they tend to.
I mean, they would do say, man, nothing's worse than a woman scorn. I believe that was the saying. It's like, boy, or everybody fears a woman scorn or scorn woman. We've all been there, guys. We've all been there.
The children to the woman.
Right.
Whereas in the good old days, they would give the children to the father because they understood the nature of the woman, that it was evil. You do know that the God above is the man's God and the God below is the woman's God, right?
Satan?
I
didn't know that.
You didn't know that? That's why they're so evil.
Yeah.
They can't help it.
Yeah, it's funny. I was married 19 years old in the Marine Corps to a black woman. She used to beat his ass too.
Damn.
But one day, he been bent off marrying Smoking Joe.
Beta. What now?
Well, I was 19 at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember she called the cops on me. And when the cops got there, she started screaming and crying and told the cops I hit her.
Yeah.
So when you said that, it's like I can speak from experience. That actually happened to me. But when those cops came, they already knew me by first name because they was always coming cause us.
Right.
So always fighting and arguing. And I said, look, I haven't touched her. I said, look at my arms. This bitch been whooping my ass for like the last hour. I'm just keeping her off. They took her to jail.
Yeah. Nice.
See, I don't know, man, because when he say women is all evil, is wild. If he could just tone it down and say women are capable of evil, okay. But when you just say all women are evil, I'm like, hey, bro, come on now. Let's chill out a little bit.
Yeah. I've always said this. I mean, I know men over history has did some wicked things, but I think there's a special evil in a woman.
Yeah. Well, it comes through her because that's her nature. Ever since the Adam and Eve story, when the woman listened to At one time, there was just God and his son, Jesus, right?
Right. Yeah.
And they had a relationship. And they communicated without words. They just communicated without words. And then God decided, you know what? I'm tired of creating a human being with my hands. So, because as long as I create them from the dust of the earth, with my hand, they're not going to decide if they want to love me or not. It's by force and not by choice, right? And God wants us to love him by choice, not by force. So he decided to create the woman, and he created Eve. And when Eve first came along, she loved Adam, who loved the father, and they were perfect peace. And then she went shopping one day.
Shopping.
Bitch went shopping.
Scrolling in the garden and eating, and then, she popped up on a snake, and now here we are.
She went to the store because Adam wanted some candy yams. It was Sunday.
Some candy yams.
He wanted some candy yam, collard greens, cornbread.
Yeah.
Oh,
And in those days, they didn't even have fork and spoon. They ate with their fingers.
Right.
You ever eat collard greens and cornbread with your fingers?
No.
Oh my God.
It's the
Oh.
best.
Yeah, it's like
Tastes better. Huh?
put okras in there, collard green cornbread, some candy yam.
God.
I was thinking on TikTok, just a bunch of Africans eating with their hands.
Yes.
I'm like, these people are savages. Well, they look like savages, but it made the food look so good.
It was delicious. I used to eat that way in Alabama. We did.
Yeah.
With the ham. And
make sure to like the video, guys. And if you have any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, go ahead and send in a super chat. Let's go ahead and engage more in this conversation, man. This should be a fun one. And like I said, I'll go ahead and engage with it, read it out loud, and post it to the top of the screen. But if not, go ahead and double tap that screen like the video. Appreciate the support, guys.
No, but anyway, so she went to the store and got some soul food. And she saw Satan at the store. And Satan was like, Eve, how's Adam? He's fine. You still with him? Yes, I love my husband. He was like, no, you shouldn't be with that man. Be your own woman. And she was like, no, I love my husband. I'm going to pay up my husband. I love him. And she was like, no. So she kind of said no to him. When she went home, she told Adam that she had seen Satan at the store. And he was like, stay away from that. He's evil. Do not believe him. And she's like, okay. And Satan had tried to convince Adam to turn against his father, but he wouldn't. And so,
because man got sense.
Yes. And so she went back to the store the next day, and they got some white people food, salads,
apple, some toast,
right?
White people food.
So they had white people food.
Yeah.
And so she saw Satan again. He was like, "You still with him? You could be your own woman. You can take your bra off. You could be independent.
You could be liberally free, sexually freed. Come on, girl, man, join the dark side.
You have abortions. You don't have to listen to that man."
Feminism.
And she did. She
like, man, F that boy Adam. All he is connected to God. That's it, man. You don't need him.
Listen, in the very moment she listened to the devil, her whole nature changed. It came from good to evil. Satan made a home in her. He became her God. And she would no longer listen to her husband. And so she went home and Satan and Adam saw a change in her. She's like, what happened? She was like, well, I saw Satan down at the market and he told me I could be my own God. I don't have to listen to you. He said, you listen to your father. Why should I listen to you? And she turned against Adam. She no longer would obey him. She hated the truth. She thought she was God. She thought she was equal to him. And Satan made a home in her. And so evil started to operate through the woman because God was no longer the woman's God. And then she convinced Adam to listen to her. Why are you listening?
Like, damn, I ain't gonna lie. He's bringing the story of original sin past that. I mean, god damn, I thought it was just that, but he's pretty much trying to say that, well, because the women agreed with the devil, she always kept the devil's essence within her, and therefore passing it down to all women is a bit of a wild take on the story of the original sin. But okay. And yeah, I know, I do know a bit about the Bible.
Listen to your father. You know how the mothers do today. Your father's no
Very
good.
limited.
Be your own man. Don't let him control you. And she convinced Adam to listen to her. And the moment Adam listened to the woman became the man's God. And God and Adam could no longer obey his father. And so that's what you have going on today. Satan is the woman's God, and the woman is the man's God. And men don't know how to deal with that because their mothers are turning them away from their fathers. And the women are becoming the men's God because they hate women. They hate their mothers, so they hate all women. You become attracted to what you hate, right? And that's why you gotta forgive your mother so God can take the woman's mindset and emotions away from you, because it's abnormal for men to be angry. When men are angry, they act stupidly. They act just like a woman. They have no patience, no nothing, right? But once you forgive, God will forgive you and forgive your earthly fathers for not protecting you from the mother. He didn't know how to deal with her. Because
this is why I always say, like, when it comes to my critical thinking, my free thinking, I never like to put a religious lens on it, because you kind of come up with stuff like this. No cap. This is what you come up, because I hear where he's going with this. I kind of hear how he's explaining the current relationship between men and women today. I hear it, but to explain it like that, like biblically, is a bit crazy. Like, yo, like for real? That's this is where we're taking it.
He married the woman that he hates. You end up attracted to what you hate.
Right.
And the cycle repeats itself. And so when you forgive your mother and forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother, everything will change. God will take away that woman's nature, which is evil. It's not her nature, but is in her. And he will give you perfect peace.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of philosophy books. Call it stoicisms. And they teach you how to not let your emotions control you.
But
you gotta, because it's spiritual, you gotta overcome.
I mean, I always say every man must have control of his emotions. Why? Because I mean, I'm not trying to sound like just like Peterson, but women will play on your emotions. Therefore, you must have control of your emotions, because if you do not, certain people, not just women, but certain people will play on your emotions. I know, right? I know, the devious bastards, but they will do so. And they'll do it with, like, I'm be real with you, vigor in their heart. I mean, they'll wake up every day glad that they can manipulate your ass emotionally. That's why you should be able to control yourself emotionally. It be from an influence of a woman, or due to manipulation tactics of a woman, or the manipulation tactics of a man. You got to control your emotions, or you will be easily manipulated your entire life. Entire life a manipulated puppet. Do you want that life? Well, I don't want it for you, so you shouldn't want it for yourself.
Calm emotion.
Yeah.
You can't have, you're not supposed, because it's spiritual, it's evil, and it made a home in your mind and emotions. And we're not supposed to have it at all. Right. And that's why when you forgive, I promise you, God would take them away from you, and you will have perfect peace, and you would deal with all people the same way. You will not hate anyone. No one can get you mad. No one can control you, because you will have the nature of the father instead of the nature of the mother. And this is for every human being in the world. I counsel with men and women around the world, and Satan tell everybody the same thing. He made everybody overreact in the same way. But once you forgive, it will change. But you got to drop that anger. Anger is evil, and it separates you from God.
Yeah, all emotion is evil.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I got a better control of it now.
So why don't you forgive your mother?
I forgive her for everything.
But why don't you tell her that?
She dead and gone.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
She did. How about your father?
She died. My father died when I was 14.
Oh,
on my
okay.
14th birthday. And guess what? My mama died.
Here's the thing. I always do say, like, your hatred of things usually comes from your, like, honestly, misunderstanding of the situation. Like I said, usually your hatred and fear of things come from you not understanding it, or misunderstanding. So I would say this: I never had developed that hatred for our mama. I could see how I could have if I didn't try to understand what she was going through. So due to the fact that I kind of understood what my parents were going through at the time, it was really hard for me to hate them, because I wouldn't know how to process what they were dealing with. So I had that understanding for them, because it's like, yo, I don't know how to do better, and you're damn near showing me the example of what to do. So I'm looking at you. that's kind of how it was for me. Shoot, I never really had that hatred towards my parents because I had an understanding. I get it.
Died a day before my 4th.
Now, if I didn't, I could see where the animosity would build because I'm over here understanding of the why me, or why.
His birthday.
Wow.
It's wild, right?
Why
They
question?
just
make you
realized
depressed,
they
don't
could not help themselves
Yeah.
and forgive
Don't
them
ask, though.
by seeing that you can't help yourself, right?
Mhm.
And once you understand that,
Mhm.
and then you forgive them, God will forgive you and everything will change. I'm telling you, you will literally have perfect peace.
Mhm.
You start to live it from within, instead of outward all the time.
Mhm.
You will live from within.
Yeah, you gotta let go of the hatred for white people for what they did in the past, but they act like white people did it all by themselves. They was in
Right.
cahoots with Africans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, in Africa, it was the blacks who sold the white people. I mean, it was the Asian, what's the Allah Abba people? Muslim.
Muslims.
Oh, yeah, Muslim. What?
Ali Akbar.
It was
they ain't nothing but some Mexicans out there. They all look the same. They ain't but a bunch
They
of
all
Mexicans.
look the same.
Yeah.
And it was the blacks who sold the blacks to the Allah Abba people.
Right.
And they the one took the blacks across the world and sold them to the rest.
Mhm.
But they want to blame the white man for it.
Right.
Because the white man have money and they can get the
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like we don't want to talk about how the Arabs were doing us, but we're just so hung up on the white man. When everybody was kind of getting put through slavery back in the day. Even white people had their days when they were put in slavery. It happens. You get through it, you move on, and you prosper.
white man money, but they're not going to be able to get the Allah Abba people money.
you ain't get
So
it
that's
from
why they blame the white man.
Right.
What a mess, huh?
Yeah. I mean, think it's just silly. Like, I don't like. I never like embraced that idea that I'm African American. I always just
Me
thought I was
either.
Black American.
Yeah.
And
What does it even mean to be two nationalities?
Yes, it's, all you're doing is taking two nationalities, two ethnicities. You were born in America, so you're just a Black American. There's nothing African about anybody that's Black that was born in this country.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you're an American, you go over to Africa, they're not going to treat you like an African American.
No,
they're
not.
going to treat you like an American.
Yeah.
They don't treat you the way that these blacks try to pretend. They do not do that.
Yeah, they look at us like we're ancestors of slaves.
They don't. That's right.
Yeah.
They don't. They're not going to treat you well in Africa.
Right.
Not at all.
I see a lot of these Black people here in America. They dress African. Are they mocked when they go to Africa? When they dress like that?
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
I would go to Africa, but right now it's too weird.
Yeah.
They're like killing white people in South Africa, especially. They've taken over South Africa, and then the white people moved out to the farmland, and the blacks were going out there robbing and killing and raping them as well.
Yeah.
So what's wrong? Well, it's the mother spirit.
Yeah.
I saw that. What's wrong with the blacks? So I gotta ask.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking
in that scenario in South Africa, yeah, what's wrong with the blacks? I mean, dead ass. It's like a pretty damn good question. Like, hey, stop killing those nice white people. They ain't nothing to you. Okay, sure, past of colonization. Okay, but that's not them. It's like, what the hell you just killing them for? Like, that's gonna solve anything. Sure, actually, you know what? I mean, maybe it is. They did kind of say he is saying they did push him out their land. So, I mean, did it work?
looking at you guys, I feel like when I look this way, I'm still looking that way.
Right.
What? This is weird.
Yeah.
So, do y'all feel each other pain?
Nah, none of that shit going
If
on.
one of you, meaning that if one of you are out there somewhere and you're in trouble,
sometimes I have a bad
premonition,
a
Right,
bad
yes.
vibe. I call them up and say, "You okay? You didn't get no accident?" It's, no, I'm ready. Just look at the TV. Sometimes that comes, but it hasn't. Nothing's bad happened.
Yeah, we don't
I just
have
had a bad feeling.
we don't have telepathic powers.
So do y'all like get angry at each other at times?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because doing we work like 5 days a week and like 12-hour days, so it gets stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
Man, hell yeah, bro. Me and Key sometimes get into it. Now, of course, not into it, but bro, me and this man do like 14, 16-hour days. And then like 7 days a week, seven, some like on the rare occasion, 6 times a week. And y'all know we barely ever miss a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm sure you work long hours too.
Oh yeah. I get up at 3 every morning
Mm-hmm.
and I'm at the office around 4:45, and so I work all the time.
Wow.
That's why it's so hard to get me up here because I was just so busy.
Right.
And then the last time we were supposed to come, the fire thing happened.
Yeah, the fires happened.
So,
Right,
but
right.
we
Hey,
probably
are you married at all, or
no,
No?
I've been engaged twice. I did it the black way.
the
I
black
have-
way?
Mhm.
What's the black way?
But
Jay?
I had a child, made a child out of wedlock.
Oh, you're
okay.
a baby daddy.
That's right.
I'm done.
But so I have a son and 2 grandkids, adult grandkids.
All right, shout out. And shout out Jesse 2.0. Appreciate the support, sis. Let me go and give you a shout out. She said, speaking of emotions, if the left doesn't get them under control, 2026 Senate elections aren't going to be good for them. Stop crying on camera and etc. Yeah, Loki. Stop crying and being overly emotional on camera, because if y'all cannot control your emotions, trust me, you will lose even more voters. You will lose even more support. And hey, man, on this side, we're over here in celebration. We're like, please self-destruct even more. But what can I say? We're nice people. We're willing to give y'all some advice on how to win. Bro, stop being so damn crazy. Well, and divisive. It's really the divisiveness that got y'all. Oh, okay, there's other things too, but let's not get too far into that.
Now, and then my granddaughter got married, and she and her husband have 3 sons. And so I have a family. I just did it the black way, and I got engaged twice.
Thank you.
But
What, black women or?
yeah. I never thought I would marry a white woman.
Yeah.
I did grow up thinking I wanted to be with a white woman, though.
I mean,
we always said, I won't meet one of them.
I'll say right here, bro. Me neither. I never imagine myself with a white girl. Not that I don't like them. It's like I love white women. Like, they're great people. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. A white woman saved my life, so I can never hate white women. It's just that I never imagined myself with one. I always say on stream, I'm for black women. I know y'all be like, oh, but they're this and they're that, and I don't give a fuck. They're my women. What can I say? Love them. Yeah. So sometimes even if they hate me, but it be like that. Baby girl, don't worry. I'm still here for you.
White women.
Yeah. Because
Until you start talking crazy.
You
What?
ever dated a white woman?
I have. What
Okay.
happened was when I was growing up, my uncles used to go up to New York and Florida for the summer, and they would come back and they would talk about the white woman. And
Now, trust me, I got a couple friends that tell me all the time, if it ain't snowing, they ain't going. And I'll be like, yo. But these are still my friends, though. It's not like I hate them for it. I love these guys. It's like, and it's kind of funny, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like, damn, really? Oh, you snow bunnied out, huh?
White woman.
and I was young, they were talking about the white woman.
Yeah.
And the white woman, I don't know if I can say this on TV.
Yeah, you can probably say it. Go ahead. You said
But the white woman was different than the black woman in
Yeah.
bed.
in bed.
In bed.
Oh,
They
what
would
did,
do
what did they
things-
say? What was the